And this is the global forecast for December 2025, brought to you by the wonderful people at AskTheAnswer.com, the UK's leading website for tarot readers, psychics, mystics and channelers. Folks, we're entering the final stages of the warm-up for the big events of next year. Pluto is happily trucking through Aquarius now, 10% of the way through already. Saturn and Neptune are both brewing. They're in the final stages of being in Pisces, getting ready to move into Aries properly in the new year, in a way that's then going to be permanent. Uranus is still retrograde in Taurus and will be for another couple of months, but even he's going to be changing sign come April. A whole different ball game by then. Jupiter is quiet this month. But the inner planets, like the second hands on the clock, they're active. Mars starts the month in Sagittarius, but on the 15th, 14th, 15th, depending on where you are in the world, Mars will move into Capricorn. Now, before it does that, it will square Saturn and Neptune. This is over the period of the 8th, 9th, through to about the 14th of December. So the second week of December, there's going to be a lot of hype and spin. There's going to be a lot of misinformation, a lot of confusion around he said that. It all started when she hit me back. And it's going to be a lot of blame, guilt, shame, and it'd be very easy to get into some type of moral outrage. Don't get caught up in the short-term passion of events that are happening in early December. Look at it from a mature adult perspective, particularly in terms of historical context. And yeah, sometimes karma's a bitch. Venus spends almost the entire month in Sagittarius, but Venus will move into Capricorn in the last few days, around December the 24th, 25th. Mercury, which will have stopped going retrograde at the end of November, will spend the first 10 to 12 days of the month in Scorpio and then move into Sagittarius. And it will clear its retrograde shadow about the 16th and 17th of the month. There are no major aspects going on this month and no big planets changing sign. Neptune stops going retrograde. That's a big one. That's going to happen around the 10th. But let's look at some of the fine-tuning. As many of you are aware, the new moons and full moons of the times we live in at the moment are unnervingly regular. It doesn't happen like this. It shouldn't happen like this, but it is. And we're in the second month of a 6-month period where it's kind of spooky how accurate this is. The full moon on the 4th of December at 13 degrees of Gemini is going to be on the midpoint, or very close to the midpoint, of Venus and Mars. But in terms of global conflict, no, that's not going to trigger anything. The new moon on the 20th of December. I'm doing a live stream on the 20th of December on the sacred geometry of the solar system. You can find out about that by looking at my stuff on Insta or YouTube or whatever. The new moon on the morning of the 20th of December is at 28 degrees of Sagittarius. And that is basically right on top of galactic center, the center of our galaxy. And whenever I think about this, I can't help it. I'm just seeing gateways or even portals opening. Now, I'm not buying into the woo-woo, the hippy-dippy stuff. But this new moon is pretty strong. And bearing in mind the big stuff that's coming up early next year, This is like a gateway in. This is like the tunnel in. The preparation is at an end. The apprenticeship is over. The training is complete. We're heading into the biggest period of concentrated and compressed change, probably in human history. And the period of late January through to late July is in many ways going to summarize the last 2,000 years. I realize how ridiculous that sounds, but we're on the cusp of this. And the new moon in December, on the 20th of December, just before the solstice, is in many ways a trigger point for this. Solstice itself will be on Sunday the 21st of December at, what time is that? 3 minutes past 3 in the afternoon UK time. That is when the sun will move into Capricorn, and from that moment onwards, even though if it's only a second or two a day, the days will start getting lighter in the northern hemisphere, the opposite in the southern hemisphere. But this is a month where almost everyone, Sagittarians are the exception incidentally, but everyone else, this is a month not of big actions and big decisions and fresh starts. This is a month of wrapping up old stuff, bringing things to a successful conclusion, finalising things, clearing the decks, weeding and pruning. Making things a lot simpler so that when the future comes in, it comes in clean. So if I were talking to the whole world as one person, I'd be saying to them, get your, I can't say the word I'm thinking of, I'm on a public channel, get yourself together, clear the decks, so that the more you get into the new year, you can deal with the stuff that's coming up cleanly without having to factor in old, worn out, tired baggage. As far as December 2025 goes, world, have a month of decluttering and cleansing. Catch you soon. Bye.